Yes, I guess we'll go ahead and call a meeting to order. We'll do pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I'll go ahead and do introductions. Stacy, you want to start?
Stacy Barch, board member, Mary's Mechanic Creek area.
Jenny Chambers, County Public Works and Planning Department Director.
Judith Fan, Birdseye, Vice Chair. Jade Mills, Public Works.
Christian Leonard, Lewis and Clark County Noxious Weed.
Monty Miles, board member.
Mike Cobb, board member. Alex Lopez, Public Works.
Lily Nix, Big Sky Watershed Corps member.
And Dave Birch, Chair, West out in the Valley, board member. Okay. Past minutes are in your packet. They're also online, the full recording of them. Do public comment, there's no public. Action items. Get into the budget proposals, Christian.
Yeah, so in your packet, we'll go get to the highlighted part in the memo. Want to thank Audra for all the work on putting this all together. As you can see, personnel increase from last year to this year is looking to be 2.4%. This includes a 2.7% matrix adjustment, which is also what we call our COLA, cost of living adjustment. It also includes step increases for employees, longevity checks for employees, and then they included $305 per month per employee increase for health insurance premiums.
The increase? What's it cost per person then?
You know, I'm not totally actually sure what the total.
In here,
Put an increase in it.
fixed charges, if you look down on this, the budget breakdown sheet on the next page. Insurance is 50/20 line item, which is down on fixed charges. For the weed program, it's 14,854 is what's coming out of general fund.
Okay, yeah, just curious, it seems like it's quite a jump.
And so that's just what the county covers. You know, of course, there's COLA or
Right,
COBRA,
COBRA,
requirements and stuff from employees on their insurance use. But the county has experienced a lot of in claims, so they're trying to build up a reserve so that we can just have that fund it without being supplemented by additional general fund. There's just been a lot of health insurance claims. Hi, Commissioner.
You were in town for a month.
For a month. Only guys gave me a week.
there's a chair over there.
You can sit next to me. So yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry, young lady, again, I got somebody scheduled the City and County Consolidated Parks Board meeting, and I'm on that. And it doesn't always end when you think it would.
so that's
Okay.
apologies.
Thanks, I was just curious. Seemed like it was quite a jump for one year.
Yeah, and then for operation maintenance, it's looking like an 18% increase from last year to this year, or for fiscal year 27. Minor equipment is at $9,200, which includes cell phone boosters for the trucks, forklift at 50% between us and the shop, for $3,000. Central Square / Track It update for we re-upped our Central Square program. That's where I'm looking for.
Upgrade to on-premise from the software subscription.
Yeah.
So we can hopefully have more public engagement and citizen tools. Weed program is one component of that Central Square Track It. We also use it in environmental health, for septic permits and other permits in that group. Planning uses it for all of the subdivisions and zoning permits, and then also approach permits in public works. So it's shared across the county. So as upgrades continue, then it impacts the subsequent programs.
Unanticipated equipment replacements is just our standard 1,500. We've had that $1,500 in there for a lot of years now, just for anything that may happen to equipment along the way. Added line item, janitorial supplies and split out from operation supplies for $1,100. We increased the hydro seed reimbursable line item from 5,000 to 10,000. I would just like to highlight that allows us the budget authority to purchase materials for projects that we may have coming down the road. So it's more or less for budget authority for those. So we can purchase those and then we reimburse back into it when we get our invoicing back. Added $75 for notary guild for Jill, or for, I'm getting all kinds of tongue twisted, for the membership for Jade Wills.
What,
Yeah, notary guide or guild membership
for wills?
for Wills,
For
Jade
me.
Wills.
For me. Oh, thank you. I thought you're doing wills.
No, not,
We
yeah, no.
pay if someone
Yeah.
wants to notarize.
Well, I was thinking somebody could leave a weed sprayer in their will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And that's okay. That's at a 50% cost shared with special districts. Also, added additional $500 for curbside recycling for recycling bins that we have down here. Looks like Green Team is no longer active. And then increase in community projects and from 11,500 to 12,500. And here, part of our community projects that we have our county cost share program. We've ran that for a few years and seem to be starting to gain a little bit of steam on participation in that, thanks to Alex. Our Jim Darcy and East Helena Middle School Egg Days for 500. We've done that for a few years now. Sun River Watershed Group, also $500. And then the Rocky Mountain Front Wheat Round Table for $500. And then added Montana Biocontrol for 500, and then Montana Discovery Foundation for 500.
And what's the Discovery Foundation?
I'll let Alex.
Yeah, that's a good question. They are an organization that's local here. They partner with a lot of different entities. So they do a partnership with the Forest Service to do outreach with children. And currently they have a snowshoeing activity that goes on for a few months throughout the year in the winter, where they take kids out up on the Mac Pass and teach them about snowshoeing. And so our hopes was to partner on an event moving forward, since they do so much outreach with children currently.
Excuse me, so is weeds part of that education, is that what they do out there?
Currently, it is not, but they do a lot of education with younger groups of people. And so our idea was thinking that we could partner moving forward. So we'd like to incorporate.
Yeah,
that program.
great.
Well, with that, I mean, since Lily's putting together a lot of brochures and stuff, we can just give them some brochures to hand out to the kids at any point in time. I
Yeah.
think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and then I
Get
think
more education out there.
Mr. Chair, I think also it was, the idea is to actually go out and work with them and do like education events with them. Just sort of like what we do with the Egg Days with Jim Darcy and East Helena too. Also actually go out there and do some work with them.
Before you move on, okay, we got an increase of $1,000. Can you point out as to which one of these entities is the increase?
It was the Montana Biocontrol and the Montana Discovery Foundation. So that was the.
That's the two
Yep.
new
Yep, those are the two
funding
ones. Yep.
issues.
Didn't we give them the biocontrol group more? This last year?
I think so, yeah.
Is that how we were up to?
Yeah, that was out of Fund 297.
Okay.
This is to make sure. part-
So that's just out of your regular.
Yeah, out of the general
Okay.
fund or out of our general fund budget, yeah. And then additionally, again, the added fee for the track at Central Square annual cost of $8,500 of the weed division. Building repair maintenance includes $1,200 for exterior paint. And then looking at replacing the keypad for the main entrance for $500. And then unanticipated repairs to the building for any building and repair maintenance for $3,500. And then also travel and training increased by $720 for the Big Sky Watershed Corps Conference for Alex to attend Lily's graduation for that.
When is that?
This is in November.
And then fixed charges. An increase of 6.7%.
And Chairman, I'd like to go back and clarify when we were talking about health insurance earlier. The top part of that spreadsheet provides your personal services, so health insurance is employee health insurance. It's a lot higher than the 14,000 that I indicated. It's gonna be 45,750. The fixed charges for insurance and deductible and technology, which is the 6.7 increase, is our property insurance, vehicle insurance, those type of things that are standard across the county, and we just get charged those regardless. So for the weed program, the employee health insurance is up on the top under personal services. So just to clarify, sorry about that.
1710.
Yep, 1710, yep. And then all the taxes and fun things that everybody has to pay.
If no other questions on the fixed charges, capital for our CIP contributions to increase from 40,000 to 50,000 to maintain current fleet replacement. Purchases include replacing office building windows and trim for $25,000.
Do you have any?
Was that?
Yeah.
Are you gonna look at purchasing a new vehicle? This year?
I don't think that was on our schedule, no.
So your equipment's in good shape?
Yes, our equipment's in very good shape. Yeah. So we try to do our best on keeping the equipment as long as we can, as long as it's in good working order, and we have a lot of good equipment right now, so. Yeah, that's sort of the highlights of it. On this sheet, you can see what was scheduled or what has been budgeted in 26, and then what is the anticipated budget for 27.
I have a question on this, on the personnel services. For the miscellaneous payroll general subtotal, bottom one, 1910, every year it's been 0. This year we budgeted 6,573.
Yeah, I know, I see what you're saying right here, 1910.
Yeah, well, why has it always been 0 and now it's not?
Good question.
Well, it's $6,000 of taxpayer money. I just kind of want
Well,
to know.
that's what was budgeted at the beginning of fiscal year. I don't know if that money's been expended. So I'd have to check to see if there was some reason in the workforce planning documents we got from finance that that was an allocation that they put in the workflow. I'd have to double check that, Commissioner, and then I'd have to also find out if we've expended it, whether it was just a proposed budget item. So
Okay, thank you.
we can follow up with you on that. And I will also
inquiring
get it with
minds.
Jade so she can follow up with the board on the answer to that question.
For 27, it's blank here.
Yeah, because there must have been, we're not anticipating doing the same thing this year, so. The only thing I can potentially recall would be that we increased Alex from part-time to full-time. And because that was not an approved in our budget. It was a proposal that went to the commissioners. I believe finance puts it in miscellaneous payroll. That way, if it doesn't get approved, it just is a line item out. So,
okay.
but that is what I want to double check on, because remember fiscal year 26 was a year ago now. So that's what I believe it is. I believe it's the change difference between Alex part-time to full-time. And if that is what that is, then it has been expended, because or portion of it has been,
Alex is here.
because Alex is here and he's gonna be full-time, and so the rest of it will be paid out as well. But that's what I want to double check on.
And I
Makes sense.
tell you what, Jenny's budget is the only one that comes in and I think, oh, this one I will be able to understand because they use very standard methods. And so, thank you, Jenny.
Yep. So we'll just clarify that for sure. Because that's, and then this year, it was approved last year in fiscal year 26.
So
it just rolls into the regular salary and
Yes.
wages for fiscal year 27.
okay, yeah.
It's only a placeholder if you're changing from like part-time to full-time, or if you're asking for a whole brand new FTE that the commissioners haven't yet approved. That's where I believe that line. We just don't do it frequent enough. But I'm pretty sure that's where that falls.
Which is why I asked, because they always have such a clean budget.
That's all we have. That's sort of the highlights of the budgets, for now.
What's the
Okay, so-
process you give to take it to the commissioners? When,
Yeah, so this is again a proposed budget. These are what the recommendations are to go to the Board of County Commissioners. The budget meetings are scheduled the week of end of May,
end of May?
the May 20. May 26th through the 29th. So as soon as we get the actual slot for the weed district budget, we'll let you guys know. But then that's where it'll get presented.
Okay.
Our budget packets are due mid-May. And then the presentation will be that following week.
Any questions, comments from the board regarding the budget? Good. So we need a motion to approve, so you can take it to the commissioner.
So moved.
Okay. Second, been moved and seconded to approve the budget as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion. Okay. Sounds good.
Christian, were you gonna also walk through Fund 297's?
Yeah. Yeah, right.
That's not, I mean, that you guys do on a regular basis, but you're doing budget. Yeah, it's helpful.
I was
for
gonna
me.
ask about that thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. It's helpful for me.
Yeah. Believe we have this handed out. It's this sheet right here.
Jenny's gonna hear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We just try to get the most up-to-date version right before our meeting here.
Well, sure.
So in Fund 297. At the top, you have WGSCR. That is the funds that come in from the Department of Agriculture for our special county grant. As of yesterday, we have $12,196.82. And then we have another.
Is this a grant? Is that what you're saying?
It is, yes, I would consider it a grant. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it's so it's $7,500 that all counties and reservations get. You just have
If they
to apply
apply.
for it. Huh?
If they apply.
Yep, you do have to apply. It is not very difficult to apply for this one. It takes you 5-10 minutes to put it all in there.
Good.
We presented it to you guys earlier this year. I'm trying to remember if it was November-ish timeframe. I know. There's a lot of stuff that happens between now and November. So we did do our BOCC for the application for that. We did put it in. Usually we expect those funds here in April, that April timeframe. So hopefully here soon we get our extra $7,500 to sort of bolster this back up. Just one thing, I guess, before I move on to the next project or the next account that we have in 297. we do, the 12,000 doesn't account for the next two installments for Lily. Or 3,400 bucks a piece. So you can expect that to be a little bit less as we go through. We currently have right now in our budget for that.
So, question.
Yep.
So both of those will come out before the fiscal year end?
April 15th and July 15th.
Yep.
So one of them.
One will be in the next fiscal year.
Okay.
Yep. But we should have our 7,500 before the last installment of that goes out, so. And then as of right now, I don't believe we have any other things anticipated to go out for that, account for the WGSCR. And so we'll move on to the WGR MDT. These are MDT funds that we get every year. It's sort of fluctuates, but it's right around that $1,700 mark. Which we also, they sort of go out the same time as the special county grants.
Yeah.
So we should also be seeing an increase in that fund here in the next month or two as well. So
Yeah, that funding it comes from DOT, but it's $300,000 annual. And they divide it amongst the 56 counties. So it's like that 1758.
yeah, it's
dollars.
something in that range.
And that's in statute, so they have to, that was just a portion of DOT wanting to be a good partner with the weed districts and the state of Montana, so that's why we did that. Had to put that in there, and that was passed through the legislatures. Just wanted to say Shelley's on board now, so, and Shelley, we approved the budget to go to the county commissioners, and we're just talking about the 297 fund right now. So just so you know where we're at in the process. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. And so the total of those two give you guys $14,703.02 of budget authority right now, so. And you can see the HBIA, we took that out of the WGR MDT, so that was the HBIA cost for the booths.
I'll discuss it a little bit later.
Yep, it's in my report, discuss that with you guys. And that's all I have for Fund 297 right now.
Any questions? Yeah. Bylaws with final updates. Also in your
Awesome.
packet.
Yep, also in the packet, just passed the budget. We finalized doing your guys' final edits to it. For Monty, we put those links, all those hyperlinks on page 5 for you. You can see them highlighted in blue. And then we talked about last meeting about moving budget reports, or the budget report right past, we added that, so that's on page 7, excuse me, on the order of business to be followed. So, budget reports was added back into the agenda as item number 5. And then, as we discussed, we moved public comment just below as agenda item number 10, just past discussion. So trying to flow more, I believe that's sort of a standard of what we do here in most Clark County. That's a good agenda order. So other than those things, everything else has been finalized and gone through. So just the next steps would be to approve those final edits and additions. And then we can move forward and send it to legal for review.
Question on clarification on the terms of the board members. When they expire, is the board member notified, or does it matter? Just keep on being a board member and a voting member?
I believe that you're selected to keep serving at the pleasure, that
Okay.
term at the pleasure
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I
county
thought.
commissioners, yeah.
They usually send out a notice. Right. At least I've gotten them.
Yep.
For being reappointed.
Mr. Chairman, that's correct. If you fall within the terms of the bylaws, if you're way beyond that, you just serve as a pleasure unless that position gets filled, then you'll get notified that we've got another board member and that you're no longer, services are needed.
Okay.
But you're on until there's a replacement. If you're willing to serve, which we appreciate.
There's only two people, Mike and Rob, right?
I believe those are the two serving at the pleasure of the Board of County Commissioners, yes.
Those.
So get somebody else from Augusta. Your requirements if
I'll
you're.
look out when I see him.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are both driving down the road at the same time.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left to clean up, just those last little few tasks. That board member Monty Miles had for us and,
I found an error. Oh, no.
uh-oh,
You know, I can dance, but by golly, it's not my name. Oh,
okay,
Caribbean, that's all.
okay,
Can ace.
oh, okay, Ace,
I'm an ace, yeah.
okay.
I'm a
Okay.
pretty good dancer, but it's not my name.
Okay, so I'll make sure to correct that before we.
We'll blame it on the autocorrect.
Yeah.
Yes, I thought you were gonna say the auto pen.
Okay, any questions or comments from the board? Okay, seeing none, think they look good, do we need a motion to approve it then, or wait until they come back from legal? Or we just send it from legal to the commissioners?
I would approve it to be sent forward to legal, so once you get the legal approval, we can move forward
Just
with
send it.
presenting it to the BOCC.
So we need a motion to approve
So moved.
bylaws as drafted.
As drafted.
Yes.
Corrections on her
Corrections,
name.
yep, with one correction. Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor of the motion to approve as drafted with the one correction, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Shelley? Want to comment? Nope. Okay,
Sorry, I can't find the unmute button. Yes, aye.
thank you. Motion passes. So take them up to legal or send them to legal and then let me know and then we'll sign them. Yeah. Okay. Next on the agenda, adopt a trail, Spring Meadow Trailhead.
Yeah, that was a discussion item from you guys' last meeting, for you guys to discuss on accepting Spring Meadow as a trail.
Is there any-
Alex and Lily did a presentation on that being a great location. I agree with them. It's close. Everything's already in place, so there is no cost to us. We just work with, the Adopt a Trailhead.
Yeah.
And, just work with
Timeline?
them.
Do you have a timeline for doing it?
We had a partnership meeting with Quickly Pair Land Trust and got the green light there, just need to make an official partnership document to sign. I'm still waiting on a response from Fish, Wildlife and Parks on if they want to partner
Okay.
or not. So I was thinking, give them like another week. If I don't hear back, I'll reach out again. Yeah, I have a tentative date for the weed pull of July 16th, which I know is in the middle of the summer, will be maybe pretty hot, but Prickly Pear has a lot of events going on in May, so July would give us some more time to plan. And then also the other Adopted Trail kiosk that's in Helena, they do their weed pull in June during Noxious Weed Awareness Week. So I was thinking of attending that with one of the adoptees for that trailhead is the Montana Department of Ag, who also runs the program. And so I reached out to their Ag Corps member, who's Hallie Gardner, and she runs the Pull Your Share program. So she said she would be available to help us with our weed pull.
Okay.
Because she's hosted a lot of them in the past.
Megan should be able to help you too, right?
Yes.
Cause she's the one she's the one that took that over, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. July what? Sorry.
16th.
Okay, well, keep us informed and see where we go from there. Okay, so we need a motion for that too?
Yep.
Okay. Need a motion to adopt the trailhead at Spring Meadow facility.
So moved.
Second it.
Moved and seconded to adopt a trailhead at Spring Meadow Trailhead. Is- Guess questions about that? Anybody? Doesn't Fish, Life and Park still run Spring Meadow?
Yeah.
Okay, so they should be involved.
Now, okay, where is the trailhead to Spring Meadow?
Right when you walk into, right when you pull into it, it starts over.
I've never been there.
Oh, you've never been there? Oh, it's right, it goes around the Spring Meadow Lake, basically.
Okay, so is that off of Green Meadow or
Yeah.
not Green Meadow, off of what?
Country.
Country Club?
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice little area.
When we were at the home show, the director for the Boy Scouts was very interested in being involved in this.
Okay.
It's local. It would be a good place for training for the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that we get them involved in this, either as a partner or as somebody that's going to support the poll.
Did you have his name?
It's on the list from the home show.
And I actually reached out to her yesterday.
Okay, good.
she's pretty efficient, isn't she?
I guess too, since we're talking about that a little bit, at the home show, there was a list for people to sign up if they wanted to be involved in things.
Nice.
So maybe reach out to all those people that were on that list too,
Okay.
just as a FYI. Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, thank you, Shelley. Motion passes. Non-compliant documents that are in your packet.
Yeah, there's quite a few of these, so, the first, so we'll go through our packet, get past the bylaws here. Starts with the envelope, that's what this is, big envelope. Sure, yeah, so, Alex has it all set up to pull the information off our central square, which is sort of cool. It all puts it all together, as well as then fills in the letter as these noxious weeds identified location, legal description, and geocode. But I wanted, hopefully you guys had an opportunity to read through this letter. This is the letter that will be sent by the board after our compliance meetings that we have scheduled in the middle of the month, or moving forward, as well as our regular scheduled meetings. So these are the individuals that have not responded to the first letter that we send out to them, the voluntary compliance letter. This is, if nothing has happened, these then get put on your guys's compliance process for it to begin. So this is the letter that gets sent out to them, as well as we do have other documents that go with this as well. But we're first going to look over the letter to see if you guys had any corrections, additions to that first letter. I know Alex has worked very hard on this, and sort of wrote this letter to match our policy as well. that we have worked on and approved.
Okay, letter you're talking about is this one.
Yep,
Okay,
yeah, it's
continue.
gonna be this,
Okay.
this part.
Oh, this goes with it.
Yep, and then this goes with it as well. And then this letter too, or this part of this, and then the noxious weed management proposal is also a part of that. A part of that letter.
Yeah, fine.
I glanced at it, but I didn't really get a chance to delve into what I saw approved, so.
Yeah, there's just some mild language changes to just match the policy. From what the first one was, and then Alex did a really good job on the management proposal thing for them to fill out. And then these management proposals will be brought back to you guys to approve as a plan or not, once these letters are sent out.
And Chairman, just to give an update, you guys approved it last meeting and got sent to legal for review. Legal had no comments or concerns.
Okay.
So the process of the policy has been signed off by our county legal
Okay.
attorney's office.
That's good to know.
And then, depending upon if you elevate something to the county attorney's office, they'll handle those on a case by case basis, depending upon what the situation was. So,
Okay.
but that general agreement.
Good. Okay. Just. Important for thing, or I guess a little discussion regarding the county attorneys. The EQC met on the 17th. I wasn't able to attend that meeting. Some of their comments were, we had a meeting yesterday with the MWCA policy committee. We are drafting, basically Amber Birch and I and a couple others are gonna draft probably suggested legislation to the EQC instead of letting them have free reign on it. There was some concerns. One big concern for me was that, well, there's two actually. One was that they, in their minutes, in their letter that we got back from them, it talked about possibly putting more money into the trust fund and having to run through DNRC. And that was a big red flag to all of us. So we're gonna clarify that if they want to put money into the permanent trust, they can do that, but it stays in Department of Ag. There's two other laws that they would have to change to do that, to move it out of Ag, and that's not gonna happen. Since it's a permanent trust built by constitutional amendment. So that was a big one. And then the county attorneys, they were wanting to, I don't know how it would ever happen, but they wanted to have a statement from county attorneys that the non-compliance portion of the law would be changed to somehow make it easier, but you got 56 counties, you got 56, at least 56 defendants. Sorry, they're never good. What do you say? So to me, I think once they decide that, and they did make a good suggestion and suggested that the MWCA or that group contact the County Attorneys Association and talk with them specifically and try to figure out some way to ratify that piece in the legislature, but I don't see it happening this next session. So there's probably going to be four out of all the suggestions, everything that happened, we're probably only going to be 5 or 6 things that we're actually going to focus in on for this next session. There's just no way to rewrite that law in one session, so. Too complicated, so. That's kind of where we're heading at. I think their next meeting is in May. So we're gonna try to have this document. And that's including information that we got from all the county lead districts. And their top priorities. And of course, top priority for most of them was non-compliance. So we'll have to see how we handle that. Candace?
You're, are you familiar with Mako?
Yes,
Okay, and we meet and adopt resolutions, and this seems like it would be important to. I can't imagine a county that it
they
is.
would be, Mako is also involved in. We have 4 people that sit on Mako committees through the MWCA.
Okay,
And through those communication lines, that's how we're handling that. So,
that's. Just didn't want to miss some.
nope, no. So I think we'll be in good
Okay.
shape, but.
So what was the reason to get the DNRC involved?
We don't know, actually. We were never told when they came to that meeting. Lo and behold, there was 5 or 6 people from DNRC there. And part of it had to do with fires. But there's 2 other bills that they're discussing that also deal with fires. And we were told that when we were discussing things yesterday through the MWCA, the people that were there and the DNRC lady that's there, she said, don't put anything into it. It wasn't meant to come out the way it was said. But to be honest with you, I don't trust a lot of that stuff. So to me, we have to figure out how to nip it in the bud and make sure that that's not an issue. Because if they tried to do that, and one of their things was that they were gonna try to get more money through coal trust and that type of thing. Well, that fund gets hit so hard by everything else that probably wouldn't happen anyway. So that's why but it was kind of strange to have all those people. It was preloaded going into that meeting. So somebody on that council had talked to DNRC, who had brought on all these people to try to push something through, but it's not gonna.
So would they have split the Noxious Weed Trust Fund?
They would have taken it out of MBT, moved it to DNRC and tried to give more money out of it,
Oh,
out of the coal trust to put into it. Which the $10 million that's sitting in the Noxious Weed Trust Fund right now is a constitutionally amended, protected pot of money, so they'd have to go back out to the vote of the public in Montana to try to get that done. And that ain't gonna happen, so, because when that passed, it passed by 75% margin. When we ran that through the vote the first time. So it's pretty well protected the way it is, so, but that's just things that you gotta continually watch when you're doing stuff with legislature.
Well, and terminology, a lot of legislators think if you talk about trust funds,
Right,
that's DNRC.
Yeah.
Because of trust lands and trust management, so how do you get the message out that it's not just weeds, which is affiliated with Department of Ag based upon, agriculture and the benefit of that, so it's just watching how that's terminology is so that you don't get just thrown into the trust bucket.
yeah, exactly, and that was part of some of the issues that some of those legislatures have is that they don't like trust funds.
Yep.
So to
Yep.
me, we want to make sure we keep it where it's at. So, but the legal part of this and talking to the county attorneys will be key to getting something probably in legislature. Probably not this next session, but maybe a session next, 2029, I guess. But we'll see where it goes, but if our legal department's good with it, then it's a shining example that we can have them look at it. And see what goes on.
You can just clarification. I'm not sure what the holdup is in the sense that if they're found guilty after all this compliance, can't the county attorney just call the weed district up and go spray it and they send the cost to the landowner? That doesn't work though, right? This way,
They have to do a court order to go in.
so it delays it all.
Yeah. So, once the attorney, if we send something to the county attorney, he approves it, and they'll go to the court and get a court order for the redistrict or a. Jesus. To get somebody to go in and spray for it, a contractor to go in and spray it. And then if they don't pay, then it gets stuck on their tax roll. That's what. And that was an issue that we talked about too, was the tax roll thing, but. It's just the only way we can do it.
As somebody sitting here on the board, us trying to get an employee or a contractor to go onto somebody's ground to spray, I think is a non-starter.
Yeah.
I think we have to work with the option that we're gonna find them into submission.
Yeah.
Rather than try to force the issue of spraying. So when we talk to legal or talk to the or our representatives or our county commissioners, I think we need to push the idea that we have to get a levy a fine. Because we're gonna end up with somebody shot if we
Yeah.
can force that.
The only fine that they have right now is that when it's sprayed, that the redistrict can add a 25% fine
Mhm.
onto that bill.
So part of our push to legislation has to be a punitive fine for non-compliance.
And they are actually looking at a couple other states that have given authority to redistricts to levy a fine without having to spray. So it's kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that plays out if it's, I don't know if our constitution would allow that. We'd have to see how that works out. But I know Wyoming and North Dakota do that. Maybe I don't. It's different all over the whole country, yeah. So I didn't want to drag that out, but I wanted to make sure that the legal part, I think this is really good that legal has accepted that. Be able to go through with it, so. Okay.
So yeah, just to reiterate, this is your guys' letter, so just wanted to make sure that you guys had any. If you had any corrections or anything to add, like I said, we've done this multiple times. This letter has been worked over multiple times since the time I've been here. Trying to be as nice, but the law is the law and the law comes out blunt sometimes. So it just sometimes it just sort of is what it is. Yeah, like I said, Alex did a fantastic job making the noxious weed management proposal more user friendly, nicer looking. And then, like I said, Alex did a really good job on just putting in our do non-compliance policy wording into this, so that way they coexist with each other very nicely.
Does this don't know where to start letter, is that the first thing they get?
That, yes, they do get some of these, a lot of these things will be repetitious in the first letter as well as the second letter. So. And these are other documents that were on there, the letter education insert, just like the weed management methods and resources, as well as the laws that we're following. And then the don't know where to start, education document that we have to just try to help. Like I said, the letters are sort of dry and law. So just trying to add some additional literature in there for them to overlook and know that they can come to us to for us to help them out through the process. So
Just as a elected person, representative of the government, we have to be careful to not feel like, so that our citizens don't feel like government is coming in heavy-handed saying, by golly, you will do it because I said so. I have a brother who does not appreciate government. He wants him to leave him alone. And as you said, somebody's gonna get shot. And so I really like sort of we're trying to be some help here, guys, and what can we do? And so I think it's really important we take time to do this, because if you are seated in the chair of the landowner, by golly, that land's been in your family for 5 generations and you're working hard and you're trying to do the best you can. It's none of it. As long as I pay my property taxes, it's not any interest of the damn government. Yes, but so I really appreciate the sort of a, come on, we're here to help you, and not everybody sees it that way. And I think it's particularly true in rural Montana.
I'd agree with that. There's throughout this whole thing and throughout talking to most of the weed districts, and general consensus is that a person gets this letter, 95% of them will respond in a positive way. It's just, they don't know what's out there. They don't know what they've got. They don't. And once they know that there's help out there, makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Somebody to come out and help them identify, plan, do all that kind of stuff. I mean, at the Home and Garden Show, we have multiple people asking about, well, what can I do? Well, we have a solution for that in our county. So get a hold of the weed district. Alex can come out, Christian, whoever can come out and take a look at the property, help them with it. And if they have a cost share program, that even helps even more.
Yeah.
Plus, people are always wanting to know about other methods anyway, like biocontrol. So the biocontrol is not an end all, it's just a management tool to go along with the rest of the stuff. So, pretty interesting to listen to people at the Home and Garden shows. So.
Yeah, and I know we're sort of on like the doom and gloom of sending all this stuff out, but all of us here try to do our best to work with the landowners and their situations and how they want to manage their weeds too. So, and Alex and I have been also talking like this noxious weed management proposal is it's a management plan. It's approved by you guys. It might not be a 5-year plan, but it allows them to participate in the cost share program. So if they do go get a contractor to spray, we can help, we got some money here to help them out too.
Yeah.
So trying to use our other programs we have, to highlight those things to help
It's a
them out.
carrot and a stick.
Yeah.
This is what we want you to do. Whack, whack. And if you don't do it, it's
So,
a fine.
Okay, Christian and Chairman have you guys reviewed the first letter
I was just.
already?
That's not it here.
yeah, the first letter is sort of sent by us, just trying to help them out. And then the second letter was the one that's sent with you guys. And the board we have all done that too, and we can certainly send that out as well. Alex and I thought that this one would be the good one for you guys to review. The first one's a little bit sort of nicer than this one, but it's still very similar situation and similar language in it. It's just a voluntary compliance letter. So that's us going an extra step, doing an extra step to just, like Dave was saying earlier, a lot of people just don't know. So a lot of times that's their initial understanding of they got an invasive plant on there. But we can certainly send that out for you guys to look at that first letter if you would like.
I just think it would be helpful to
Yeah.
see what the first letter says of how it's more informal and that they can respond. And you guys the weed district gets really good responses to that first letter. This would just be, okay, if they don't respond to that, which is more elevated. So.
Yep.
And I think when we talked about that first letter too, you pulled that down from its original
Right.
wording. So it was a little softer.
Yeah.
So abrasive.
Yeah, Alex has done some number crunching and it's right around 2/3, 66% of people respond to that first letter. So, with that, and then we've also Alex has added some stuff to it because of the new policy, but yeah, we can certainly send that out to you guys for review.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
And the first letter is certified also.
No,
Just,
Yeah.
then this one will be certified. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, per law and everything, it needs to be approved by the board to be sent out certified.
And if you get 67% response, we're saving that money
Oh,
as well on not certified mails.
Yeah, actually,
It's like it's close to
Yeah.
that much.
it's,
Yeah, I think most of the certification thing just came in so that we knew that that landowner was
Mhm.
actually getting it.
Mhm.
Some
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah, you have to have proof of that for
Mhm.
referring it to county attorney's office for sure.
Yeah, I bet a lot of those first ones get, I don't know.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
they're not even in the area.
Yeah.
yeah, there's some logistical challenges sometimes with mailing that stuff out. It's on our side of stuff.
Okay, so you'll send that out.
Yep, I'll send that out. That's on my list.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. We should be good then, right?
Yeah,
Ready to roll?
yep. Yep, today was technically the first day of non-compliance.
Yeah.
April Fools.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to take.
Yeah, so just wanted your guys' approval of these documents, so that way when we send it out, it was approved at a board meeting to be sent out to them, so.
So we need a
And we have
motion
a
then?
record of it because of the minutes.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Do we need another motion or didn't we do this last? Go ahead.
I think we should do another motion with, accepting all of these that we reviewed today.
Okay.
And since legal reviewed and had no comments, and then this will be the final.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept them as presented with legal's approval. And we'll start the process today.
I
Non
move.
compliant. Do it then, use second.
Second.
Okay. Then move and seconded to approve the plan, non-compliance process. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, motion passes.
Perfect. And then with that, we also talked about doing a PR press release. We've been working with Betsy, our communication coordinator, to get something together to, have her look over and sort of get that started too, since it is springtime.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that should be coming out here shortly.
Things are growing.
Yeah.
When you do your release, really push the part that you're gonna provide the training and the work with the landowner. So it sounds more like you're coming in as a partner rather than just a legal entity. So make it sound more, I guess, make it sound more like a partnership between the landowner and the county. To control the weeds on the land.
Now, we can work that into that. So just have a draft put together. Oh, yeah, we'll work that in there next month. Yeah.
Okay. Review and accept resource documents.
So we're on the non-compliance agenda. Is that where we're at here?
Yeah, still in non-compliance.
Okay, non-compliance, or do you want to? Okay, I guess I'm a little
I
confused.
thought, yeah, that was.
So we just did that, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
so, but I do want you guys to review and look over the non-compliance, sort of, we have it as a bi-weekly. It's not really a bi-weekly. That might have to be changed, but it's like the mid-month would be a mid-month non-compliance.
The agenda for
The
that.
agenda, yeah. To work in with that, so just to try to stay on track with everything. Alex has already put together a calendar that you guys have reviewed at the previous meeting. For like instance, if we were to have had non-compliance and we had worked through it, April 15th would be the next scheduled meeting. And at the end of this, sort of one of my thoughts was to get together on the 15th with the board, to go through like a mock, meeting. Yeah, because it's something new to all of us. Alex and I will put together, we can either review some old cases and stuff, just to how we would go through the workflow of that kind of meeting. So I did put together a rough, a draft of that agenda. Sort of my comments on here is like, it will be scheduled a lot like our agendas that we have in our bylaws. But like for me, like I had a comment here, like instead of accepting past minutes from the previous minutes, do we just do that? Do we just accept our minutes on our regular scheduled monthly meeting, so you accept the past monthly meeting as well as the mid-month meeting at that one. And then here in action items, you can sort of see how that would sort of be scheduled. So non-compliance determination of certified letter approval. So those would be all the cases that nobody did anything on the voluntary compliance. So this is essentially would be approving the letter that you guys just reviewed to be sent out. So those would be like first on the docket. Next would be noxious weed, non-compliance, proposals and acceptance. So that would be reviewing all the previous weed management proposals that had been submitted for you guys to approve. To put the other ones that you have sent, letters to put them in compliance. You will have to accept that proposal for them to be in compliance after you've sent the non-compliance letter. And then appendix C, which is hopefully Alex and I and everybody down here, we can work on to not get to this appendix C part of this. Alex created a really cool thing that you guys will all get to see on sort of like, we'll try to have some in each of those sections to sort of how it would go. But that is if we've sent the non-compliance, we've received the certified letter back that it had been sent to them and we got it back so that they did receive it. And Alex or I, mostly Alex, went out there and did the final review and nothing had been done at all. What do we, that would be put on the board to elect to do what they, the next would be to send it to the county attorney's office or elect to do. Nope, be elected to go to the county attorney's office. That's the end of it.
Sorry, you guys get to that point. Part of the process is that you will have to decide to post a dated order to residents.
Oh,
Prior to sending it to the county attorney. And only
Okay.
the board can perform that action.
Would you say that again, please?
Yes, so if it reaches appendix C, prior to sending the case to the county attorney, part of the policy states that the board can post a dated order at the residence. And only the board can perform that action.
You mean all of us have to go out there?
No, the board can decide and one person
Oh.
can go out there. But our
You
action,
know,
item,
man.
us staff cannot perform that action. per the
Okay.
code.
Okay, thank you.
So our subcommittee would be really the only people that would have to be at this mid-monthly meeting.
Yeah, but it'd be just the 5 that you guys, the 3, you guys elected to choose 3
Right.
to be on there all the time.
With 2
And with 2 alternates, so that would be something you guys would probably choose at the monthly meeting on who are the 5 that are going to be there on the mid-month meeting.
I thought we had done that already. didn't we? That was,
Wait, Mr. Chairman, you also have to see who's available. Make sure you have the 5 in attendance.
Because we do have to have a quorum.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. We'll work on it. Okay,
And so on And just quickly, just since I'm looking at this as well, non-compliance is gonna be bi-monthly meeting agendas.
Hmm.
Instead of bi-weekly, maybe bi-monthly, is that what you guys are talking about?
Yeah,
Bi-monthly?
yeah, it would be like the mid, yeah, it would be the, yeah, it's just a mid, yeah, it'd be the mid-month or the second
Okay.
meeting of the month.
And then action items, there could be landowners that ask for a public hearing. And so you might wanna have a hearing if needed. And then my suggestion is that the agenda would clearly lay out what that hearing is for, so that it's properly noticed.
Right.
And,
For
and
that
where? I mean, do you have it here?
Yeah, it could be here, that group forum would hear the hearing. And so you probably should also think about doing a mock hearing as well. And really kind of review what those steps would look like.
So
That's a
the
suggestion.
hearing would replace public comment in the agenda.
The hearing is is a formal action that you guys would hear the non-compliance if if the landlord chooses to follow that section of the statute. You actually have to have a board hearing
They could actually,
that you could reverse the decision that
Right.
the non-compliance, or maybe they'll share new information or give them time to not be in violation or something. But I would follow the statute as what that mock looks like, and kind of do a mock hearing as well. And then public comment is just in general, public comments, yeah.
so I would move that public comment down to like where we have it in our.
Yeah, we'll, after bylaws are done, we'll redo the agendas to match your guys' updated bylaws too.
If somebody else comes in and has a complaint or a
Yep.
issue, then we can put it on the next meeting with, if it's public comment.
Yeah.
The way it is now, we can't act on any public comment.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Right, and I think even at the end, if it's just general, my suggestion is that you take public comment after each
Yeah,
action
right.
item as well.
Yeah.
If there's landowners here to talk about, they're on the appendix B list.
Right.
You might want to make sure you take public comment before you make a decision on that, at both stages.
So as part of action items, each one of the bullet points gets a public comment.
My recommendation is you do,
Yeah.
so that the board would hear any public comment prior to making your vote on decision.
Yeah,
That's the way we run
Yeah.
the commission
Yep,
meetings. If
yep.
every agenda item, we take public comment. And we don't, and then at the very end, we address any, as an option for public comment from, that is, anything that is not on today's agenda. And boy, some people get windy. I do think it's important to move the public comment section of the agenda.
Yep.
Down to below the discussion.
Yeah, I had this mocked up with the way that it is now that we accepted the new bylaws, we'll
But
organize these
Okay.
yeah. properly.
Alex, you have a question?
Yes, thank you. Something that we do need to decide on is a time for this new monthly meeting. Currently, I have it scheduled to check certified mail status the morning of this like mid-month meeting, as well as performing inspections prior to this meeting. So if it could be later on in the day, it would be more beneficial than a 1 p.m. time slot.
Yeah. So like just to expand a little bit on Alex's too, is he's trying to make sure to have all these things done just prior to doing that, so that way the action takes place right post inspection.
So if we, correct me, Jenny, if I'm wrong, but we have a meeting scheduled for 1 and we have to change it, then does that interfere with the posting of the?
Yeah, I mean, you have to, in advance, you'll have to post publicly when you're gonna have this meeting and when it's available, so. At each meeting, you're gonna have to set the next
So to be-
date and confirm the time,
So to
so.
be safe, I guess could we do it at 3, Alex?
I think that would work.
I think that's sort of what Alex and I talked about being a good time, right? Sort of allow us still to.
That way that the posting will go out with that time, and if
Yeah,
something,
The posting date would be the next following
Yeah.
day, just so you guys know the flow. A lot of times the mail gets picked up here at like 1 or 2 in the afternoon, but that at 3 o'clock, hopefully an hour meeting, most of the time, that still allow us the time to print
Right.
to print the letters or do whatever
Okay.
action items we need, so that way everything's there to be picked up at 1 o'clock the next day.
Okay, I'm comfortable moving it to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll redo this, let's look at it.
Yeah,
Send it out with the other letter. Right,
yes, yeah, we'll send that out with the other letter. And then, like I said, we were looking at doing one this April 15th as a mock one, for sure, yeah. You know,
So we
if
need the
everybody can
board-
try to be there, that would be great, so that way all alternates
still know what's going
still
on.
know what's going on,
Okay.
so they don't show up to a meeting and
Yeah.
get, you know what I mean, so, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So do you guys wanna set out the normal notice of meeting for the board? Or do you need something?
I mean, I don't think it needs, there will be nothing to post there, you know what I mean? Like, there's not gonna be any
Okay.
actual action items on this
Okay.
next one, so,
So any of the board
Just-
members who wanna be here at 1 o'clock on the 15th,
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock?
yeah.
But if you do have a quorum, you need to have a posted
Oh, okay.
notice, even if
Okay.
it's just a
Even if
mock
it is a
or
follow-up.
mock board meeting on
Okay.
non-compliance or something.
Okay,
Just because you're gonna have more members here, that is a quorum, and you should still take public comment. You never know.
Yeah.
You might not have anybody show, but
okay. I guess just a question
Yeah.
for me too, is like, if we do that. We do that, then can't we start the meeting? There are no action items, is there any public comment? And then we can end the
Yes.
meeting within the first 3 minutes, and then we can work the mock.
no, it's just a discussion item.
Oh.
You're not expecting,
Okay,
you're not expecting public comment on the
Okay.
discussion items.
okay, sounds good.
Yeah,
I was
you
just
can
curious.
end
I
the
was just
meeting and
curious.
tell the public, thank you for coming, now you need to leave. but
Oh.
we're still gonna
I
have
get what you're,
sitting
I
in the
get what
meeting.
I get what you're saying now, okay, I was just curious, okay.
And the recording would still record, even
Yeah.
though it's just an example.
Okay, sounds good. I was curious how that was working.
Yeah.
I've never done a.
It would just, I would just clearly label it as a mock example only.
Yeah,
Or,
Okay.
Or a training
board
session.
board training, yeah, it could just.
there we go, board training,
Hmm.
I like that,
Hmm.
Okay,
perfect.
Probably had flashbacks, Christian, that's why it's like, had meetings in the past where public's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I have not been in one of those usually it's a productive meeting, so it's never had like a training, like we're doing them training like this before.
Some of us have get on the job training.
Yeah,
We are put
I
in
think that's how that
situations and we have
usually,
no idea how to handle it.
that's usually how that's worked out for me too.
so you guys will send out notice. Okay, yep. Okay, so to be done with that then, to be ready to move on to staff reports.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
perfect. I'll try and make this short and sweet. Just some updates on our agreements, the Forest Service agreement for Beaver Creek. Alex and Lily did an awesome job. They were able to go out there and do some site visits and figure out roughly about how much acreage of weeds we had out there, so that way we could figure out what we needed for biocontrol. That was a part of our Beaver Creek assistance agreement, was to get some of that out there. We have $6,400 worth of biocontrol to go out on Forest Service lands out in the Beaver Creek, North Nelson area. So that's good, because there's been some floods and some fire and stuff, so it'll be good to get some more biocontrol out there. Most of those are Dalmatian toadflax biocontrol agents, and so that's one of our difficult ones, and in the years past, that's ones that the Forest Service has contracted out to have sprayed up in those areas. The other Forest Service agreement we have is for roads, trailheads, where there's logging projects going on in Lewis and Clark County. Been working with Heidi Crum with Forest Service. We got all the roads and trailheads that she would like us to have sprayed throughout the season, because a lot of those are county roads, so we're able to, working on trying to spend out roughly about $5,000 out of that agreement for the next 3 years to expend out the rest of that 16,000 that we have in that agreement. BLM agreement, the NOFO one that we put in for to work with Kevin Sheridan. Everything's going real well. We're working through, the limited solicitation was out. We got 2 out of 3 to respond on that limited solicitation. So we're working through, getting the contract ready to present to Helena Weed Control for that. They were the lowest bidder, and the experience between both of them was the same. They're both very experienced, contractors. Helena Weed Control came in lower than the other one, so that's who we decided to pick. And so we're working on getting the contract cover sheet and contract through the process, and working on having that tentatively scheduled to present to the BOCC on April 14th. So I'm working. You'll get to see my face a couple times here in the next couple of weeks. So
Oh,
on
good.
good things, good work's
Yes.
happening over here. So weeds and mosquitoes. So we've had sort of been, I'd say, an average year so far, but we already got 7 weed plans from the beginning of the annual year, not the fiscal year, since January. So we're on plan 7 already. I believe 6 out of the 7 have been subdivisions or special projects that are going on. The one that we just received earlier today was Ranch just wanting to put in a weed management plan. So hopefully, working on them with them. So, road management side of things, been working on getting a schedule put together for crews for the whole summer, list of how we want them to work through our districts, as well as how we work through our special projects that we have scheduled for the year. Some special projects here that we got coming up. Bob Thomas seeding project, the road crew did some road work on Bob Thomas up in Augusta area. So we'll be actually going up there on April 6th to do that seeding project on that for the road department. Working together right now to try to get the landfill seeding project scheduled. So working with the landfill group. We have RID crack spraying scheduled for April 13th through the 16th. I know we have our mock draft during that time too, but trying to work on getting some of these bare ground projects taken care of while we're still here early spring. Helena Regional Airport, looking like getting them scheduled for the week of April 20th. And then today I went and talked to the transfer station over there off of Benton, right there by Carroll College too. We have an MOU with them, so working on doing some bare ground work for them. And then we had some touch-up work that we need to work on with the bridge crew on some guardrails that we sprayed last year, and it didn't work out quite like we anticipated it to work out. The equipment, I built something cool to work, and it just didn't work as cool as I thought it would work. So, I was trying to make something to be more efficient and timely, and it just, I don't know, it just somehow just didn't work. It could have been a timing thing, but anyways, we got some areas that we gotta clean up and work on for the bridge crew to remedy some issues or mistakes I made last spray year. So, biocontrol submitted survey for the Montana Biocontrol Program. They do that every year, sort of looking to see what kind of biocontrol agents we're looking for. It's pretty standard. The only thing that Alex and I submitted on that one that might have been different is possibly getting maybe some white top biocontrol, possibly. So we just threw our hat in the ring on that. So hopefully maybe we can partner together with Prickly Pear Land Trust or City of East Helena, or City of Helena, excuse me, and see if we can get some biocontrol maybe established for white top around here. It's a very difficult weed, especially in an urban area. So it's just, mustards are hard to control anyways, let alone when they're in yards and and landscaped property. So anyways, that would be a fantastic thing.
What kind of biocontrol do they have for
It's
blacktop?
it's a mite. I believe it's a mite. Yeah, and they've been doing some, I can't, Jeff Littlefield from MSU has been working on that for a while. I think it's the only reason why he hasn't retired yet, to be honest, is trying to get that. But I think he's got 1 foot out the door, and I think the other foot's really close. So hopefully we can get some stuff going. That would be fantastic, not just for Lewis and Clark County, but just Montana in general would be
Absolutely.
fantastic to get that biocontrol agent established and working in Montana. So it's just a difficult way to manage.
Do you guys have a map or a idea of where some bad infestations of white top?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any along 10 Mile?
Oh, yeah, there's some just right over here on the other side of the Komatsu.
So, if we have a photo letter from the board, help with that?
I don't think so. I think it's so the way that I understand it with Melissa is she's trying to find places to get it established too. So they're trying to find some sites. And what it sounds like is there's not a problem with finding sites on the western side of the state. And so she's trying to get it a little bit eastward and try to get some sites over there. So, but like I said, if there's nobody else interested, Alex and I thought it would be a good idea to throw our hat in there to maybe just try to help, you know what I mean? So,
Okay.
anyways, education outreach, the HBIA, the home show, home garden show, it went really well. I thank you board members for coming by and helping us out while we were doing that. It was really good. I haven't got any final numbers, but we did get a number at the end of the first day, and it was a little over 1,100 people that walked through that on Saturday. And there was a good chunk that came through on Sunday too.
Yeah.
So so I'm hoping around that 2,000 mark, that would be really good. We reached out to Crystal, the home show lady, just to maybe see if we can get a little thoughts on what she thought how it went too. So I do know that there was not any open booths at all this year. They were all filled out. So that was really good to hear. So yeah, we got a lot of list of people on our stuff. We had great conversations. You know, I talked just from my instance, I talked to a teacher over here, a biology teacher over here at Capitol High School, you know, wanting to reach out to us to maybe do some stuff when she's doing some noxious weed stuff. So not necessarily per us, but thank you, Judith Anamani, for doing the Gardner Symposium at Carroll College. I hope that went well. I'll let you guys talk about that in your updates. Alex and Lily have assisted in getting the greenhouse started. We have a pretty good group of not only noxious weeds, but actually some native stuff. Alex did a fantastic job collecting some native plants through last season to plant them, see how they go this year. So I think we already got common tansy growing out there. So from seed, we do have a lot of stuff that come back from the previous year. And then on the docket here this month on April 14th, I believe I'll be going to Bozeman to help out in the new coordinator training. They asked if I could do a presentation on for new coordinators on working with municipalities within their counties. So other than that, been working trying to get some recruiting seasonal sprayers. So half of our crew came back from last year, which is fantastic. And then working on filling the 3 other spots that we have. So working through the hiring process. We had we had 3 interviews scheduled last week. Only 1 person came. So it's just playing that game. It's just the game that seems to be just the way it works these days. 1 person called and apologized for missing, and the other person just ghosted us. So the one applicant we had was very good. And then we got two scheduled for next week. Okay, so pretty much I've tried to interview everybody that has applied so far. So, yeah, working through that. So that's all I have for right now.
Question about the home and garden show.
Yep.
So didn't you say that they were gonna give us a little bit of a break for next year for you?
Yes, they said they were gonna reach out to us.
Yeah.
They have not done that yet, but they were gonna reach out to us to so that might be something that you'll see at the next weed board meeting, the next monthly weed board meeting, I should say, for May to pre-register at a locked-in rate that's lower than if we weren't to do that. So we're trying to lock people in, you know, and also like to keep you, if you want to keep your spot too.
Yeah.
Which my personal opinion, I would love to keep that spot that we're in. It works really good for the trailer we have. I don't know where else you're gonna put that gigantic thing in the middle and drop that thing down with not paying for extra booths, you know what I mean? So it works well for us. We don't have to pay for extra space to allow people to come in and out. Yeah. So, but I like the idea, and it sounded like it wasn't gonna have, you know, like it did cost $2,700 to rent those booths. But like it might only be like a pay $200 to reserve your spot for the next year, kind of thing. That's how it was explained to me. I don't know if that's the actual.
Well, I guess if
number,
you
but-
get it on the agenda before,
Yeah.
and that's you need,
Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with. But yeah, they said that they were wanting to reach out to us
I guess. I
to
could
get
chat
that
to them.
scheduled. Yeah, we have an email to Crystal too on that, as well as we'll clarify to add that to the list as well.
I wonder if we need to have the agenda item put on our next meeting so that we can vote to.
Yeah, that's what I
pay
say,
the
if we
money.
have it on the next regular meeting,
Okay.
so put it on there, and if it doesn't come through, then we'll just continue it to the next meeting, but as long as it's on there, then we can vote on it.
Okay. Sure.
Question to everybody, did anybody go to the Montana Outdoor Show?
Got it.
A lot of people there. Man, it was. And every booth spot was taken in that place. And that was the week after the Home and Garden Show. But that may be something you might wanna look at.
Sure.
Well,
For recreation.
Yeah.
With a booth targeting those recreational.
Yeah.
People with the, probably smaller, just a single booth,
Right.
but weed-free seed, clean your trailer, clean your equipment. Here's a trailhead program,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. That's probably a good idea.
I think it'd be excellent, so might wanna.
To do that instead of the
No,
HBIA, do both.
There's a lot of work for you guys, but I mean, that was, when we went on Saturday, it was just packed.
What was that? The outdoor show was that?
And Montana Outdoors.
Outdoors, and this is the first one they've had here.
Yeah.
And it was well attended.
Very well. So if they have
Where
another
do
one
they
here, I don't know if they're gonna rotate
It
them
was a
again
great
or not.
process.
It was-
On that, they
Where
were,
was it?
Down to
Bozeman.
I have no idea. They must move around.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk to Becky about the MWCA going to there too, so might be able to partner with them if it's here again
Yeah,
in our county.
yeah, that would be a good thing for just as an MWCA member and
Mhm.
board member myself. That would probably be a good thing
Yeah.
to attend. We have all kinds of, there's all kinds of pamphlets and stuff to
I thought
hand out.
that's what I was thinking about when I was walking around.
Damn, we should be in here.
I was thinking something similar, except I got commitments that Elk Foundation, Mule Deer Foundation, the Dallas Safari Club, and one of the real estate agents would be interested in partnering with us as sources of funds to produce pamphlets for education.
Oh, cool.
So that was part of what I was gonna give as an update, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's all I have.
okay, thank you. Jay, do you have
I
anything?
do not.
Jen?
Just a few things to pass on. Christian's been working with the Helena Airport Authority on the contract with them to do some spraying on that area. I signed that this morning,
Oh,
so it's in your inbox. So just to know that
Good.
that's fully executed now. Vacancies within Public Works, other than the seasonal sprayers, for about 90 people in Public Works across the area. I only have 2 vacancies, so I'm getting to be fully staffed. The area that I have 2 vacancies is kind of a problematic area for getting recruitments and getting applicants in. It's the Lincoln area district operator, equipment operator, and the equipment road operator. The one's been posted since October, does require a CDL, and then our district operator just left. That community is pretty hard on staff in the area because you're always localized. There was some blasting on Facebook and some social media, and so he was gonna leave anyway potentially, but that just added more fuel to the fire. But it's really important to have positions in those areas to help with coverage and stuff. We're trying to cover Lincoln from Helena. So if anybody knows of anybody that has the CDL and wants to get, foot in the door with some of those positions, the positions are posted. Once we get those 2 positions filled, I'll be fully staffed. So that's my goal. As long as we get the 3 seasonal hires, which he does always a good job of getting filled, we'll be good to go there. Road work is underway for spring. It's just been a really tough season. Augusta got 3 feet of snow. Augusta got about 2 feet, higher elevations. Lincoln got about 3 feet on top of Stemple. A lot of erosion issues, a lot of road runoff. Some areas are still snowpacked and icy. Some areas are really, really muddy. It's impacted our breach deck. So we're getting a lot of complaints and work to try to clean out culverts and things like that. But people just have to be aware that you can't get out and do maintenance on those roads until it dries up. Can't bring a grader out there. It just tears the road up. So, but we get a lot of conversations on that end. And then we're planning for upcoming road projects, our annual chip sealing, crack sealing, and asphalt overlays across the county. We don't have any major road projects other than our annual maintenance, but we are doing a lot of crack sealing this upcoming year. And then in April, we've got a major bridge project for the Craig River Bridge. It's going to be closed for 3 weeks for us to do that abatement work on the beginning of that project. And we're hosting a public meeting on April 8th.
Is that a county
Bridge.
road bridge?
Yes.
The big.
Yes, the
It
big
looked
river
like-
between, Craig is
Missouri and
yes,
it's huge. I thought that was an MDT.
it's a county infrastructure bridge. So it is our responsibility. And so there'll be a public meeting in April. So, and we're also pairing with FWP, Fish Life and Parks, on that public meeting in April, because they're also going to kick off their fish access parking project as well. That's adjacent to that Craig River Bridge area. So the county leased 20 years land from Burlington Northern to allow FWP to have that overflow parking area, and FWP got grant money to get it constructed. So we're kind of partnering on what that public meeting is for Craig. County doesn't often get to Craig, so it's just kind of an opportunity to share with our community things that are going on. So it'll be hopefully a really good participation.
That'd be good, because they need overflow parking there. It's
Yes.
crazy.
Yes, it's getting crazy and crazier, and so it's just imagine it's going to be filled up the minute that thing gets
Yeah.
built. So, but that's what we kind of have upcoming. I want to share with you guys today.
Any questions? I got one. So what's going in over here, And the,
So the city of Helena, that's the city of Helena jurisdiction. That's a proposed new subdivision. Next off of Cooney Drive. The developer is required to put some roads in, so the cut across you kind of see will cut across from our complex to McHugh, and then eventually go north right in front of Steed and cut over to McHugh on that as well. I know they're working with the city of Helena's planning department on some financial assurance and some additional infrastructure requirements, and so I still think it's a ways out, but they're starting the preliminary process of that.
cut across road would be nice.
It's gonna help us a lot in Public Works to not have to go to Custer,
Yeah,
like our road department. If they're heading to the North Valley, they can just use that road. So
Yeah.
they're really excited about that.
yeah.
A lot of growth going on in the county between the City of Helena projects and the East Helena projects.
They're putting in another complex over by Winco too, is that right?
The City of Helena has very large, those large apartment complexes. There's another one going there off of, right in front of Winco there.
They're gonna have to do something with that roadway, aren't they?
And then the other MDT project that's gonna impact you guys in the North Valley is they're getting ready to construct the roundabout at Applegate.
Hmm.
So there'll be some road delays on Lincoln Road on the Applegate roundabout.
Okay.
So to avoid that, just cut down Green Meadow or cut down Montana
Yeah, there
Avenue,
you
just
go.
avoid the little area in between for a while.
How about Helena, Lake Helena Drive between York and the Causeway?
Yep, we are at the county, we're continuing to look at the design for that. We kind of have I think about 40% design completed. We submitted a congressional spending request to Senator Sheehy's office to try to get money for more of the design, which would also include the Hauser Dam Road project as well, to hopefully get the design fully completed so we know what the cost is for construction, and then we can try to seek construction dollars. Right now, that project isn't moving very fast because of funding constraints. But it's certainly one of our priority projects. So as we get opportunities for either grant funding or construction dollars for getting that completed, we're working for that. But we're probably still another 10 years out realistically, which is unfortunate. But if we can get the congressional money, get the design, then we can try to get money for construction a lot easier. So maybe 5 years.
Shovel ready.
Try to get it shovel ready.
So when the
Shovel.
grant shows up, they are out way in front of all the other
Yeah.
counties around here, which kind of makes all the other counties why does Lewis and Clark always get this? Because our project.
We have been really
shovel ready.
successful on grants, I think, in the last 3-4 years. I mean, I bet you it's over the $20 million range that we've got to this county. I'm gonna put a compilation together just to kind of share what that looks like, because it's a lot of money back to the county from taxpayers. We also got a congressional spending request through the Department of Defense for Country Club Road. I should be bringing that to the Board of County Commissioners here shortly to get, once I get the signatures back, it's to finish the design on that road, which would also change that intersection at Fort Harrison. That weird T intersection, do something different there, as far as the safety concern. The Department of Defense will give us money to get that designed and then later construction for that as well. So it's gonna be a 10-12 year agreement once we get those funding to get that done. So if we can get something similar to that for Lake Helena, that would be perfect. It's just trying to be aggressive on what those look like. So some big efforts underway.
What about Lincoln Road on Garrett's? Is that still?
Lincoln Road is still on MDT's
MDT's,
project plan. They do have a preliminary design for that. I think right now it's like 2030.
Oh, yeah.
That to potentially get that rerouted to get rid of that cut across, and they're basically moving the road and
Wow.
cutting the whole road all the way through
Behind Garrett's.
behind Gearing's. Yep. So I think 2030. It was 2028, but then they said they're a little bit delayed with funding, so they keep kicking it out a little
That's
bit.
what I heard last.
Yeah.
27,
Yeah, I think it's, yeah. So now the latest is 2030. So there's a lot going on.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, does you have anything?
I've had my say here, right? Not like I'm bashful.
And I got another meeting at 3, so I'm gonna get back here very shortly.
Move.
I created a digital newsletter, so that should be going out either this week or next week. And then you'll all see it in your email.
Okay. Cool. How's things going for you?
Good.
Okay. Alex,
No updates, just been working on a workflow for 5-year plan management plan, but. Okay.
good. Okay, do board reports. Like,
Well, I wanna be optimistic, but could be a historical drought going on. And so, but then I thought, well, maybe the weeds will die, but I saw the hound's tongue 3 or 4 inches up, so now I'm saying I'm behind on spring. But on education, I did reach out to the Augusta FFA, and I'm gonna reach out to the Augusta 4-H Club. And I gave them the weed district information, if they have projects on the war on weeds, or if they wanna adopt a trailhead, to contact you folks.
Mhm.
Hopefully that'll work. I appreciate the board, because I come back energized after all the projects I hear about going on here, that I realize. I don't know about other weed districts, but you people are. Go ahead and trying to get a handle on these weeds, which is good. So. I'll do my part in Augusta. That's it.
Thank you. Monty,
Was at the home show. I thought it was really good. I think the most common weed at the home show was either hound's tongue or Dalmatian toadflax. At the outdoor show, talked to, as I said, Elk Foundation, Mule Foundation, a couple other groups. Started talking, just trying to get them to sign up for the newsletter and maybe get involved in organizing weed polls. But then it very quickly changed over to, well, we can't really get people out, but we could pay for it.
Hmm.
So I started trying to figure out how do we go about getting funding from some of these groups that are working in the outdoors area. Oh, the guides group was another, the outfitters group that actually puts on the show.
Hmm.
Would be another source of funds. So that's something I think we need to kind of sit down and talk about, figure out how we're gonna be able to do it legally. And how much money we actually would need for things like brochures or the book that Lily and Alex are putting together, things like that. The Master Gardener Show was different than last year. A lot of people came through. They were more interested in the plant this, not that poster.
thank you.
And very few of them were actually really interested in what the weeds were, but the guys that were interested in how to control weeds, bindweed was the number one weed that they were talking about. So dry year last year, bindweed was one of the few things that grew. I found out you can control bindweed with boiling water. And if you add salt to Roundup, it helps make Roundup even more effective, which is of course utter nonsense. But after the meeting, I started looking at bindweed. There is a mite that controls bindweed. There's a biocontrol agent for bindweed.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be something that could be interesting. Yeah,
The research shows that it doesn't establish well in Montana. So they've done a good amount of releases across the state, and it just hasn't established in numbers or quantity that really has.
and that is in the west or in
I
the
think
east, because
state-
a mite would do better in a dry environment.
Yeah, so I think
Versus-
here it doesn't do super well. It might do better in the east where it is quite significantly dry.
Yeah, well,
But I know over here on the side, it just hasn't, because I've looked into it as
Okay.
well. But there is a retailer, I'm pretty sure, that does sell it. I'm not sure if it's integrated weed control or weed busters. It might be integrated.
I think it's integrated on that that we were looking at when we were looking for biocontrol for.
So it is something that we could test out, if we had found, like if we identify a location with.
yeah,
Yeah. But it is exciting.
yeah. I thought that's a new one.
Yeah,
And I don't know if I mentioned at the last meeting, the EPA has given up ownership of the Canada thistle rust. They are not going to restrict Canada thistle rust. They're not going to treat it like a herbicide. So we just have to wait to see what the state's going to do.
So APHIS has it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Back to APHIS.
that's where it should have been.
Yep. And APHIS wants to go ahead, the last
Yeah.
person I talked to.
Yeah,
I just don't know if we have the wherewithal in Montana anymore to get it done.
I think with Melissa Maggio.
Yeah.
At the MT Biocontrol, Montana Biocontrol, I trust her in what she does, and I could see that being, because I think they were trying to do some stuff and then that started happening, so I think we'll be okay, so.
Okay.
That's
it for
exciting
me.
to hear, that's exciting news.
Thank you. Judy Fenn.
So, I was with Monty and his wife. At the, Master Gardener Symposium. It was very different this year. Actually, I would. We weren't supposed to be there till 8:30. I think we should have been there at 7. And gone from 7 to 12. And then because it was pretty boring after lunch and nobody came upstairs. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, maybe 5 people came upstairs after lunch. There wasn't a lot of milling around, but in the morning, I think we should have been there earlier because it was very busy.
Yeah, I was there at 7:45, and there were very few people there then. There were probably 10 people around. And probably 8 people setting up booths, and then a couple people that drove in from out of town
At 8,
at 8.
yeah.
So at
Yeah.
8, when they opened up the doors for the public, there was a large group of people. We were still trying to set up, but there was a large group that came
Yeah.
through.
So we just have to remember that one.
Get there early and set up early.
Need to go earlier and maybe not stay as late but they had a good turnout. And I'm not sure how many people they had, registered, but last year was about 200. And there were only 4 packets left on the table this year. So if they had 200, 106 person. Yeah.
We
6 showed up.
did get another list of people to add to the mailing list.
Yeah.
Some of which are just for information, others were interested in getting involved in
Mhm.
planning or participating in Weed Pulse.
So that list grew really kind of fast, considering the number of people that we had come up to the table. No, it was, yeah, it went, and the brochures were very nice. They were,
Yeah,
they went well.
we got rid of all of didn't get rid of, we gave out all of the weed identification books and got rid of almost everything else, almost all the gloves that we had with us. So there's a lot of people coming through and collecting information.
Okay, so now my other, for some of you, probably, I don't know if any of you do, remember Ed Grady?
Well, sure.
Okay, he passed away on the 7th of March. So, and he was one of the founding people that got the weed trust fund stuff started. So, and I sent a card to Eileen and we did that. Another, the golden mushroom, has anybody seen anything about the golden mushroom? It's on dead trees,
Yeah, dead hardwoods.
dead hardwoods. And it's gorgeous, but it's an invasive and it's going pretty rampant.
Yeah.
Through which,
We
just-
don't have a lot of hardwoods, do we?
Yeah.
Do we?
Down in some of the river bottoms, there's stuff it'll go to.
Oh.
The mountain mahogany, the poplar, aspen, things like that.
Poplar is a.
It's considered a hardwood.
I
It's the softest hardwood in existence.
so.
It's
anyway,
it's
just
an
wanted-
oyster mushroom, it's a pleurotus. And it came in on do-it-yourself mushroom growing kits that were developed in China. And
In
it
2002,
2002, they first saw it. By 2010, it was pretty much endemic. And now it's everywhere.
yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, let's grow mushrooms and then just dump it in the landfill.
There you go.
Can you eat them?
Oh, they're very edible. They're reason they spread so fast is they're much better than shiitake and much better than the white pleurotus that we have naturally. And probably because they're not native, they don't have the insect pressure that the native fungi get out in the woods. You know.
Anyway, and I may have a grizzly bear have you seen anything? You have, is he around?
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
over by Gravely Range Lake, they saw it.
Oh,
I was
something,
gonna send that to you. for,
okay, well, something was in the neighborhood. I don't know.
your house.
Well, close enough.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I hope
they've been
it,
up there for years,
so,
I got pictures of them. King
well,
cams.
I don't know, this was probably a week ago, 10 days ago. So anyway, so maybe it wasn't a grizzly, maybe it was the little guy that lives up the road. And he just got out of his den or something, but anyway.
Was he digging up weeds? I don't see, what,
He was into more than weeds. And then, of course, I don't know if you heard about, this is just kind of interesting, but before the last big snowstorm, when we had the 2 feet of snow, which was about 2 weeks ago, so a 50-year-old woman and an 80-year-old woman took off from
Yes.
Lincoln to hike to Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak is in Canyon Creek, or neck of the woods. Well, they had to be rescued. I don't know if you read that story around that. I mean, who would take, well, anyway, I won't go there. So,
it's a free country.
it's what?
It's a free country.
It's a free country. But anyway, they were lucky to get out of there. They lost 2 trucks and a snowmobile, 2 snowmobiles and a truck, or 2 trucks and a snowmobile that they had to leave there because they couldn't get them out of there. So it was kind of a mess, but anyway, so, there you go. So anyway, and just on another quick note is Mike and Stacy said last time about the drought and the weeds and so on and so forth. Our famous Canyon Creek Fire Department may have just lost their reciprocal, where somebody else comes to if we need help.
Mutual aid.
Mutual aid, thank you very much. I couldn't think of the word, mutual aid. So that could be a big issue where we don't have any mutual aid. I don't know how true the story is, but it's out there. And then our board took 32% of our budget and paid the invoice for the people who sued the board attorney fees. That's what I know about that did. So it's a mess. It continues to be a mess. And I don't know how or if we'll ever get it straightened out, or because everybody's walked away. Except for
The people who were elected.
Hmm?
There's some who were elected who are still on that board. They were elected,
they were
majority.
elected.
It's kind of like a presidential election. I mean, I may not have voted for our president, but by golly, a majority of people did, and
There you go.
so.
So there you
same
go.
with the Kenyan Fire
Anyway,
Department.
that's the way that goes. So.
Okay.
Anyway. Other than that, I think that's, June 11th is the Noxious Weed Awareness Spray Day at my house. And don't know what we're doing, where we're going. And Kevin's not on, so we'll talk about that later. Oh, I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Lisa.
I have a whole lot to report. Weather's changing. Things are really greening up. I was up in the fields today and I couldn't believe how green all the pastures and stuff are looking right now. That snowstorm that we had recently really helped get things booming. And the warm temperatures, looks like we're gonna get snow again later this week, but just keep gearing up. Was just kind of doing a drive-by, looking at some of the area up there at Canyon Creek Country to see what we have for weeds, what's going on. You guys mentioned the rust for the Canada thistle, so is that currently being used or approved?
Well, I think it was a fight between APHIS and the EPA on whether it was a biocontrol agent or whether it was a herbicide because of the way you applied it, essentially, is really what it boiled down to, and they've been and it sounded like EPA finally just let it go, so it'll be controlled by APHIS, which it was approved to be
Okay.
used before, and then EPA was like, you can't do that, it's a herbicide. And then APHIS is like, it's a biocontrol agent. Anyways,
And how are,
long story short, it sounded like EPA finally was just like, you can have it back, it's yours.
how is that applied?
It's like inoculant. I think you can go out there and spray it.
Spray,
Yeah,
okay.
just a fungi, rust to fungi.
The EPA got interested as soon as they took the infected tissue, ground it out and put it in liquid and put it in a spray tank and went out and sprayed it.
I see.
The old way of doing it was you took the inoculant, which is just the ground up thistle, and you put it out as a powder. As long as it was powder, they didn't care.
Gotcha.
But somebody said it was, oh, it's like a fungicide, so they started looking at it.
Well, I a couple of areas that, for wildlife management area that used it down there and. Man, I don't see it doing anything down there. Like the Canada thistle is just out of control.
It's not like a herbicide. It takes years. The first year, you can see some differences in the leaf structure, leaf color, and then the plants get stunted. And then as it really starts to get into the plants, then it starts shrinking them. And then the laterals don't develop. So you may see that main stem that's there when you inoculate, but in 10 years, you've taken care of the thistle that's coming up off the root zone. So it takes a long time for the
So-
thistle to be effective.
In my understanding down there, that was, so when I talked to them about that, it was 8 years. It had been 8 years since they initially applied that. And it's been 2, maybe 3 years now and just,
I'm not sure.
oh man. I mean, they probably should go in and when I talked to the biologist down there on that area, he said, well, it's not working out as we planned. We're gonna probably end up having to spray it in a year or two. It's like, why wait? I mean, that stuff is just seeding and going and you've got the water and the canals and all that stuff there. Just bad deal.
One of the other issues with that rust, the original rust population that was used to do the biocontrol work came from Montana. The original thistle population that they used to test the rust came from Montana. So you had a single population of rust and a single population of thistle, and that rust did a real good job on the thistle population. In natural settings, you may have a broad genetic diversity in the rust and a broad genetic diversity for resistance in the thistle. So one isolate may not control all the thistle all across Montana.
Oh,
You may have to collect rust from multiple locations and get a blend to be able to go out and have a much higher rate. And nobody's ever looked at what kind of specialization there is either for resistance, for virulence in the system. So it's another research thing that needs to be done.
thank you. That was all.
Okay, thank you. Shelley, do you have anything?
Speaking of Dalmatian toad flax, I don't know when you guys usually try to target that for spraying, but had luck in the past targeting it when it was too hot for everything else. Like there gets to be a point where the plants kind of shut down, but for whatever reason, the Dalmatian toad flax would just suck up the herbicide when you sprayed when it was super stinking hot and got really good kill. So for whatever that's worth, if that helps. I'm going to be out most of April, and so I'm not sure how that fits in with the various meetings and whatnot, but I just wanted to let you guys know I should be back in May for at least the first half. And then the last thing that I had was just asking again about kind of strategic planning. It sounds like we're getting contracts in place and things like that. Are we looking at combining when we have an area, say like I'm just taking Beaver Creek because it's the one I remember, and combining that with talking with the Forest Service about doing the roads that go in and out of there, and talking with, and of course the county that goes up and down to York and things like that. Is there any kind of coordinated effort on that level that's been worked on or discussed or happening or thought about or mapped?
Yeah, I mean, we worked all that, exactly what you said this winter for like, exactly for the Beaver Creek area. And then also working with them on all the roads in South Helena, heading out in the Forest Service, as well as out here on the west, like Priest Pass. And then working with like the Forest Service as well on the roads up in Lincoln area too, adding all those to that list. And we got maps and all that fun stuff from Forest Service to work those into our project list.
Okay, and it's being done not just as a check the box list, we're doing this, and this, but as a, I'm trying to think of the right words to explain what I'm trying to get at, but as a coordinated effort. Like, I understand it's being done with Beaver Creek. Like I said, that's the one that I remembered, but with any of the other project areas where MDT or the state, Fish, Wildlife and Parks or whatever is paying the county to do weed control, are the roads in and out and stuff like that being handled consecutively or concurrently, so that you're not just spraying an area and then having stuff tracked right back in? Does that make sense? Is that where you guys are headed with that?
Yeah, we've been doing Fish, Wildlife and Parks fishing accesses for at least 4 or 5 years now. Working with MDT, we got our Great Falls contract signed. I think I talked about that at the last meeting. So working with that division, and then I've been working with the Butte division about we should be seeing a contract coming out here shortly for us to review and have Jenny sign and send back for all those roads. Working with the BLM on the NOFO will be work after we get all the contract stuff all signed up. We'll be meeting with the contractor here in May to go out there to go over the project area with them and Kevin and ourselves. Yeah, and then with like the Forest Service is working on mapping that. I know Alex and Lily have done a fantastic job on putting together some pretty cool applications for us to use with seasonal employees while we're out there spraying, and we're able to start doing some mapping now that we really haven't done before in the past. That also includes the Beaver Creek area. We're able to use county roads in that Beaver Creek project area as have them help us pay for those too. So they'll essentially be paying for the whole Beaver Creek area to be sprayed for weeds this year and for biocontrol, as well as looking at getting whatever remnant funds we have left, possibly getting some seed to get out there and seed the areas that are still having trouble establishing themselves post project. Seed either washed away or eaten up by mice and birds or whatever. So trying to do the best we can to get the Beaver Creek area up to a good standard, healthy ecosystem out there. Not just spraying, but doing biocontrol and trying to do the best we can to implement an integrated weed management plan out in that area and use that as a good success story moving forward, not just for fishes, but for land restoration as well.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I already talked about legislative stuff, so move on past that. So going into discussion, identify stakeholders.
That was something you guys had on the list to discuss, is possibly identifying stakeholders for education outreach, but I think we've sort of we've really worked on that in the last couple weeks with just the symposium and HBIA and, as well as Lily going to her thing they allowed her to go to in Missoula. That's been really good. And then just people coming in here. I think we got a pretty good list of stakeholders and people to work with, to try to grow and utilize our education program the best we can. And I think we're doing a fantastic job here. I'm excited. The work Lily has done is fantastic. So.
Okay, well, the only other thing is, next meeting will be April 15th at 3.
Yep.
Um,
We'll get it noticed and stuff like that.
topics, we've pretty much discussed what we're gonna do there anyways.
Yep, yep. And I'll make sure to send that agenda out.
Okay.
Out shortly with that first letter too.
So we should all attend that April 15th?
Yes, if you possibly can, yeah,
And we can do Zoom
yeah.
too. We can set up a Zoom call, so like you don't, you know what I mean? And I know that's sometimes a little bit tough, but at least, and I would like to have somebody on Zoom too, so that way when we're presenting stuff, they're able to
See you.
to see documents or whatever too, so.
Okay.
Gonna be a fun collaborative effort to
Yeah.
work the iron that process out, so that way we can try to be as streamlined and efficient. We're adding an extra meeting a month, and so try to be diligent of everybody's time as well, so.
Well, and I think it's good that everybody attends, so everybody has, in case we need to call on somebody to come in for the 5th member, just so everybody's educated on what we're doing there.
Will this,
Same time then, 1 o'clock,
3
well,
o'clock.
3. that's
will this
right.
happen every month? I mean, do you have complaints? And they don't respond often enough, so the second meeting will be needed every month?
For a majority of the growing season, I would say yes. You're looking,
What we threw.
we might not have to do the April one. And as we've set up the whole thing, just depends on what we got going on, but like maybe the April one might not be needed in the future, just depending on when we get cases. But like in May, you're gonna have 2, June, you're gonna have 2, July, you're gonna have 2. I know that's gonna be tough with 4th of July and everything. August, you're gonna have 2. September, you're gonna have 2. October is gonna be that spot where you're probably gonna still probably need 2 in October.
Right.
So, November might be that time where it finally goes back to once a month. And that's just me feeling this out, just sort of with my experience on how things have rolled through. Again, just to let you guys know, I mean, we are very structured in what we're doing here. Very structured. It's when we start sending letters out and stuff where we don't have control of that process anymore, that things are going to, you might see some things that are on A for a little while or B for a little while, just because the letter hasn't been delivered there, kind of thing. So, and that's just the post office. That's just depending on how up to date cadastral is. All those fun things that Alex and I have worked through for many years. You guys are just a more integral part of the process of this. So, and what we do with those and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna be a learning process for everybody, and
it's a process that the board wants to put in place, so it's a commitment to the board.
Yep.
So commitment of the board, I guess.
Just so I'm following it correctly, the board, so you find a complaint, and then there's 3 members that say, works with the person, says,
No, there'll be 5 of us.
and so, well, only 5 is when they don't wanna, there's no compliance, right? Or is
We'll
there-
need 5 to sign off on the complaints. So we need a quorum for.
So even
each
if they
meeting.
wanna work with you, you still have to meet with.
yeah,
Well,
after you
yeah,
send the
we'll
non-compliance,
We'll
yeah,
approve their
of
their
management plan, yeah.
Yeah, the only way they can come into compliance once the notice of non-compliance has been mailed is for them to submit management proposal. but to be accepted by the board.
The board has to.
That's six.
And with it, and with everything, it has to be unanimous decision in order for things to move forward.
But we don't need 9 of us here, we just need 5 out of the 9 to have it.
Yeah.
So,
Do you need your county commissioner here? I'm not a voting member and I'm not
No.
part of the quorum.
probably not for those bi-monthly
Yeah,
meetings.
my meeting schedule is pretty.
Yeah.
Overwhelming, so I'm cautious about adding.
I'll still send it to you in case you someone find, but.
Yeah, at least you can review, because this will also not just be, that's another thing to you, so you still will be a part of the process, because it'll still happen at the regular meetings too, so it's at the
Okay.
regular scheduled meetings as well as that bi-monthly meeting. And that's just for us to stay, you know, as we talked about that, to make sure that we're structured, that we are holding ourselves accountable, to make sure that we're fulfilling our timelines as well, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be a learning process. We will all be very in depth in the process and in what the law states, what we can and can't do. By the time this is all over, you guys will all be non-compliance professionals.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, Shelley, thanks for coming on. Other than that, I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll be good seeing you now.